The Clueless Mum is sponsored by Kidfluence, the UK's first parent influencer app. We connect businesses with family-friendly content creators, and Kidfluence is available to download on your app store now, completely for free. Well, hello there. Welcome back to The Clueless Mum. It has been a while, I understand. The last time I did a recording like this, I had a kind of real time on the verge of a panic attack. It was a very strange time in my life. I have done a lot of work on myself since then, and I feel like that really was my body screaming at me to make some changes. So I've spent the last couple of months kind of regrouping myself, addressing the balance to become a better version of myself. And I feel like I've done it. I'm leveling up. I have come into the new year feeling rested, yet motivated and excited for the future, but grounded. Know myself a lot better, and that a lot to do with that was thanks to Natasha, who was my ADHD coach. If you have a look on my Instagram, you will see that she did my ADHD coaching. My Instagram is at Lady Nadia Essex, and she was fantastic. She really helped me come to terms with my ADHD. And then I've spent the last few weeks working on me. I've done a lot of journaling, been doing my walking meditation, and trying to create a life and lifestyle of who I want to be. And picturing where I want to be and who I want to be, and then taking steps to become that person, which I think is really important, because I'm only going to manifest the things that I want if I kind of am already doing those things. So I'm trying different tactics, I'm trying different lifestyle choices, I'm trying different angles to focus on. January was very much about my nutrition. I tried different diets. I've got a YouTube video actually coming up that I haven't posted yet. Actually, I may have posted it by the time you listen to this. But I did the carnivore diet, and spoiler alert, it was a complete disaster for me. It did not suit my body at all. I did it for 5 days, and for 3 of the 5 days, I was in bed. I felt so poorly. I got keto flu twice in 5 days, and on the last day, I started having heart palpitations. So yeah, I had to stop, and my body was screaming at me to stop. And so I stopped and went back to what I was doing before, which made me feel really good, which was having a smoothie in the morning. And so I'd have a load of fruit in a smoothie with some protein powder and some kefir in the morning. And very first thing, I'd have my lemon and ginger tea. And then after that, I would have my smoothie. And so I kind of would like flood my system with nutrients. And before everybody starts, I know there's going to be so many people, hey, fruit has a lot of sugar. You shouldn't be having so much sugar for. Trust me, my body loves it. I don't get a crash. It keeps me full pretty much till lunch. I don't know what it is. It suits my body. And though that sip of that first smoothie is like, I can feel the energy of life energy coming into me. It makes me so happy. And why shouldn't I be doing something that makes me happy? Eating meat and eggs, I feel sick just even thinking about it. It really put me off. The thought of eating like meat makes me feel sick. Now, it just was horrible. The whole carnivore experience for me was horrible. It did not suit me. My body did not like it. Everything was screaming. My cells were screaming at me to stop. And then when I started having heart palpitations, I was like, okay, we need to stop. This is actually, I don't want to do like permanent damage. So stopped doing carnivore, went back to my juices. And within a couple of days, I was like back on cloud 9, waking up with loads of energy, loving the day, feeling good about myself because I'm just full of nutrients. And I watched a documentary on Netflix called Hack Your Health. And it really was interesting to me because it talked a lot about gut microbiome. And the takeaway I took from it was the reason that you're overweight isn't your fault, because it's the gut microbiome in your tummy. So, for example, each thing you eat has a little of its own microbiome. So say, for example, there's like a McDonald's microbiome or cheeseburger microbiome. Because you don't have a really diverse microbiome, the cheeseburger microbiome voice is really loud. So you crave that cheeseburger because that microbiome, there's so many of them and it's so loud in comparison to your other little microbiomes. So the point of the documentary that I took away was like, if I diversify my gut microbiome, then the voice will come of the cheeseburger will get lower because the other voices are, being heard. It's being drowned out, basically. So my mission now is to eat 30 different fruits, vegetables, and legumes a week to basically really diversify my gut microbiome. And let me tell you, I feel fantastic. I am yet to lose weight. In fact, the carnivore for 5 days, I put on 3 pounds. Rude, can we just say, first of all? How rude is that? And I know people go, oh, it's just water weight. I don't care. 3 pounds after 5 days, and I killed myself. Never again. So I don't think I've lost any weight. I haven't weighed myself this week, to be fair, but I don't think I've lost any weight, but I feel so good. So that's how I know that I'm on the right direction. I feel great. So if I feel great, then surely I need to do more of that because I feel really good. And it's not like a feel good when you eat a cheeseburger and then 10 minutes later you feel sick. It's a genuinely nourished. I feel like my cells are being nourished really well. So I've had a lot of time in January to focus on myself and trial and error a few things. I've been reading lots of books. I have been watching lots of documentaries. I have been consuming a lot of really good content. I did a Tony Robbins 3-day workshop. It was like 3 hours a day for 3 days in a row, and it was absolutely life-changing. And I've been watching Tony Robbins ever since. And I'm just excited. I feel like I've bloomed, and I'm really proud of myself because usually January is a whole new year, new me, go, 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 all guns blazing, dry January, New Year's resolutions, new year, new me, pounding January. And actually I was like, no, this doesn't feel right. So I spent the whole of January still hibernating. I don't really celebrate New Year's anyway. I was in bed by like 9:30, made a nice dinner for Zeke and I, put him to bed. I can't even remember what I did. I think I watched a movie and then I was asleep by, I think, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I don't watch the fireworks or anything like that. I'm not interested in anything like that. I like to sort of be asleep. I wake up the next day and as a family, we all go to the pub and have a lovely pub lunch. Like, it's fabulous. That's what I prefer than going out. And certainly you can't go out with a 4-year-old anyway. So I digress. Had New Year's and I really fought against myself and fought against social media to push myself. I was like, no, we're still in the deep of winter. This is still technically mid-winter. I should not be setting goals. I should not be pushing myself. I should not be pressuring myself because I'm likely to fail, as millions and millions of people do. So I kept making stew and home-cooked food and baking bread and going to bed early and watching wholesome movies and wrapping up really warm. And we had a lovely January, and I've just been able to really rest. Like, my soul feels rested. And yesterday I was on my little motivational meditation walk, and I saw the very first snowdrops and daffodils poking up. Spring's coming, and for the first time probably ever, I'm really rested and I'm really excited and I feel really good. Spring is springing. The mornings are getting lighter. The evenings are staying lighter longer. We're nearly out of winter and I just feel so good.
This episode is sponsored by Kidfluence, the app that connects brands and content creators for social media posts. If you have 1,000 followers or more on Instagram or TikTok, download Kidfluence now for free.
Welcome back to the Clueless Mum. And I suppose I got carried away then. I probably should update you over Christmas stuff. So Christmas was great. Again, very low key. I feel like there's a theme at the moment. You can see that I'm really low key. Very low key Christmas, very relaxed, very chilled. We went to my mum's house, but I cooked, which is my favourite thing to do. Drinking champagne, music on, Christmas tunes, cooking. I love it all. I love the peeling. I love everything of the prep. I love it. So, and I'm going to blow my own trumpet. It was delicious. It was great. I really, really enjoyed it. And then it was chilled. And before I knew it, it was, the end of the school holidays. And actually, that was probably our first holiday that I enjoyed over any other holiday we've had. Don't get me wrong, Zeke had his moments, of course, but I really enjoyed our Christmas holiday together. He was a wonderful child, and we really gelled. We had loads of fun. Perhaps because it was Christmas and there was something to look forward to, it was just a really, really good school holiday break. I really enjoyed his company. I hope he enjoyed mine too. We got on really well, and it was just fabulous. Yeah, I'm just loving these moments more and more. And we had no childcare over the Christmas holidays at all. So that I thought would be really difficult, but actually because we enjoyed each other's company so much, it really wasn't. It was okay. And if you are an OG Clueless Mum from Series 1, when I was pregnant, you will know that the hill that I chose to die on was being honest to Zeke about Father Christmas. And this year was the first year that that conversation arose. And let me tell you, it did not go how I expected. Can't remember the very first time, but we ended up having to have the conversation about 4 times. I didn't realize how indoctrinated schools are in terms of Father Christmas. So when I told him about Santa and I said that it's make-believe and I explained the story, he was a real person and he gave gifts to people he loved, and that's why now people give gifts to people he loved, but he doesn't exist. He cried. And I was not expecting that. He was really bonded to the idea of Santa. And we don't talk about Santa in our house. I always make sure that we frame it very differently. We never talk about, be good or Santa won't bring you presents. We never talk about Santa at all. We talk about Christmas, and I'm really good at framing it in terms of what would you like for Christmas? And are you excited for Christmas? We really don't say Santa at all. He doesn't come into our house at all. I'm very careful of the things that I buy. I don't buy like Santa please stop here signs. It's all very much like Christmas signs and snowmen and all that sort of like festive stuff. So I'm really kind of strategically careful about it. So I didn't realize that the bond he had already with Santa was so strong that he would cry. And he did. He cried. And he wanted to believe, and I was like, okay, that's okay. And then he asked me about 3 different times, was Santa real? And each time I told him the truth, and I said, some people choose to believe that he's real, but this is the story, and we don't tell people that Santa isn't real because they choose to believe. And different families have different rules, and that's okay. In our family, I would rather tell you the truth, and then you can decide whether you choose to believe or not. And in other families, they choose to believe, and then some families don't believe at all. And so we really had these conversations that were way more difficult than I thought, because he really did want it. And even when we went to school, the first day back, the first thing she said was, what did Santa bring you for Christmas? And I'm like, no, we don't do that. Santa didn't bring his presents. We as a family who love him bought his presents. And I'm really like passionate about that in terms of that's the part that I'm passionate about. I would hate to think that I bought Zeke a present like an iPad, for example, which another story, I had to send it back. I bought him an iPad for Christmas. He's too young. It was way too much. His personality changed. And I think 2 days later, I sent it back because he is not ready to have his own iPad for sure. So that's kind of another story that I've just told you about. But, if I bought him an iPad and then he went to school and told his friends that Santa bought him an iPad, and then his friends went home and said, Mummy, Zeke got an iPad for Christmas and I got like a pair of socks. Aren't I as good as Zeke? Does Santa not love me as much as Zeke? Like, that conversation that another parent would have to go through because of me would break my heart. So even if he chose to believe in Santa, I still would not say that our presents came from Santa. It's really, really the big presents, the big things will always be with love from mummy. Like, that's my present to him for Christmas. But it was a really difficult thing because I was so tempted to just go along with it. Multiple times I was like, should I just go along with it? Should I just give in and be like, yeah, Santa's real. Let's pretend. And then I was like, no, for two reasons. One, because fundamentally, no, I don't want to lie to my child. And secondly, I know that there's proof on the internet that I was really passionate about this subject when I was pregnant. And I feel like I've let a lot of the things go that I thought I would be. You think you're going to be this type of person when you're a mum, and I've had to let lots of that go. I've let myself down in lots of ways. You know, you think you're going to only buy organic food, you think you're going to make everything from scratch, you think you're never going to, you know, give them McDonald's, whatever it may be. And so there's been lots of things that I thought I would never do, and I've done. Give them screen time at a restaurant, I've done it. You know, it's like all the things you think you're never going to do as a childless person, and I've done it. So I feel like I let myself down quite a bit. And this is one thing that I don't want to let myself down because I was really passionate about it. And at the time, I had really good reasons. I don't want to lie to my child about it. It's too big a thing. It's too deep. People go deep. Some people have like CCTV cameras in their house and like Santa's watching you. And that would scare the bejesus out of me. No, like it's too far. Be good or Santa won't bring you presents. I'm like, no, my child is good. All children are good. And they're all going to get presents. God willing, you know? So it was a really difficult thing to try and navigate. But we got there. Next Christmas, I feel we're going to have the same conversations again because I got a feeling he will have conveniently forgotten that I said to him that Santa wasn't real. And I think he'll want to get carried away and wrapped up in the magic. So I'm going to park the subject and we're going to forget about it until next year. Next year, we're in 2025 until this Christmas. For some reason, I still feel like it's still next year. So that was really difficult. So if you have any tips or hints, have you told your children the truth? How did they take it? Have you got any tips? Should I keep going and be strong in my courage and my conviction, or should I just give up and let him be indoctrinated like everybody else? Let me know your thoughts, because it's not easy, this parenting game. And I need your feedback and I need your help, because you guys are actually better than any parenting book I've ever read. Well, thank you for joining the Clueless Mum. I am hoping to be back regularly and I look forward to hopefully seeing you again next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great week, darlings.